everyone. I'm excited today to be your host for TIP Radio, Top Industry Professionals, where we showcase really amazing people from around the world, prestigious professionals, and they share their stories of experience and success with us. Well, today we have a very special guest from Miami. She is an award-winning children's book author, award-winning broadcast journalist, certified nutritional coach, and cooking show host. Is there anything she doesn't do? Oh my gosh. She was just recently selected as the International Association of Top Professionals Empowered Woman of the Year and Top Children's Author for the Year for her outstanding leadership, dedication, and commitment to the industry. Please, everybody welcome Janet Zappala. Janet, it's so lovely to have you.
I am thrilled to be here. It's great to see you.
You too. And we're going to get to see more of each other at the soiree in a few days in New York.
Looking very much forward to it. Absolutely.
So am I. And you know, the listeners, for those who are not going to meet you in New York, the listeners are just so ecstatic to hear about your journey and how it took you from being a television journalist for 45 years, excelling as a reporter, a news anchor, producer, to writing children's books. What a transition. Tell us about it.
It's been a journey. When you say 45 years, normally I say, and I've been in the business for about, that many years.
No.
I started in my mother's womb. But anyway, it's been a fantastic.
I get that all the time, with being Miss Universe. It's like, what year did you win Miss Universe? I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember. It's okay.
Selective memory. I love it. But the bottom line is I look at it as a great experience. I mean, through the years, you learn so much. In fact, I was looking at some old video of me when I first started. My voice was so much higher. I was so green. So those years of experience certainly help you in your skill set, in your wisdom, in the way you approach stories, in the way you look at things and meet people. And you know what questions to ask to delve into that subject matter so you get answers that people are interested in hearing about. So in your answer to your question about how did I get from broadcast journalist to certified nutritional coach to actually cookbook author and cooking show host and now children's author, it's been quite a remarkable journey because I never expected this to happen, to go from broadcast journalism when you're really writing about news and things that are difficult and usually writing for adults primarily, and then to go from that to the extreme writing for children. I just never would have imagined. So I think it's where God put this in my lap. The universe said, you know what, you need to do this, because someone brought to my attention that Wapo, who is the featured ambassador, he's our Goodwill ambassador on my books, he was introduced to me as a baby through a photo. He was actually spooning with our pot-bellied pig, Mabel. And I say our pot-bellied pig. It all happened because I was volunteering at a rescue in Southern California. So I came upon the story of Wapo, who was adopted and who grew up to be the world's largest Holstein cow, certainly one of the largest. It's 6.5 feet tall, more than 11 feet wide, well over 3,000 pounds. They normally get to be about 1,200 to 1,500 pounds. So you can imagine how much bigger he is than the rest. But he's also as kind can be. He's got a huge heart. He actually has a white heart-shaped patch on his forehead. I can't make this stuff up. So he's super kind. When I met him, I thought, wow, the story of him being best friends with a pig. I mean, they're so different. These messages could be in the hands of children about accepting everyone. We don't all look alike. We're not all the same color. We're not all the same size or the same age. But we're living, breathing creatures, and we're all here on this planet together. Let's live in harmony. I know it sounds a little Pollyannish, but I think if we can put these messages into the hands of children at a very young age, to inculcate them at a very young age, to be good, kind people, hopefully the thought is they will grow up and spread that message of kindness. You know, it's all about being good to one another, and that's what I'm trying to do. So that's why I was really motivated to do these children's books, because based on true stories of the major animals in these books are real living creatures. In fact, we have photos of the featured players in the back of the books. So it's really fun for kids and their families to see what these real animals look like and where they are today. So to put these messages into the hands of children, I think was the great motivating factor, to be able to give back, pay it forward, teach the children well, and let them lead the way, as the song goes.
Well, Janet, you have really touched on a very important point there. In today's world, with all the social media, and you've been in journalism and in television all these years. You know what it's like to be in the spotlight, to be under a magnifying glass when it comes to discrimination and comments in social media that can really hurt. What is your take on, now that you're writing children's books, how can we help our youth to avoid all this social media, onslaught of negativity towards young people?
And you really hit the nail on the head, Michelle, when you said negativity. And that's what I'm trying to wipe out. As one person, it's very, very difficult. But I'm trying to teach children that if we're kind to one another, it only comes back to us, right? Mm-hmm. We're happier for it when mm-hmm. people are kind to us. So if you have that kind of perspective and that kind of attitude towards others, it's going to just explode. It's just going to continue and carry on. That's my hope. That's my thought. But it really starts at home at a very young age. I'll give you a quick example. I just became a new grandmother. My son and daughter just had a baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. We have another one on the way in September. I'm telling you, this is so amazing. She's now 1.5 years old. My son and daughter-in-law will not let her go near a screen. Near a screen. They want her to learn how to read. They want her to learn how to be social with other children and adults. They want her to learn manners and to be kind and to be polite. And it all starts, as I say, with the parents at home. It also continues in school with good teachers who teach the children to be kind and to be good to one another. And a lot of times when I go out and I speak to families or children at bookstores or wherever, we talk about anti-bullying. Because a lot of what WAPO teaches is anti-bullying. When WAPO was switched from his original home in the books to a bigger venue because he got so huge, the animals at this new venue stared at him from afar and judged and said, well, I don't know if we could be friends with him. That was what they were thinking. I don't know. He looks different. He looks too big. Well, you know what happens when we judge? We never know what's on the inside. We only judge by a cover, and we never get any farther to find out what's really in the heart of others. But WAPO didn't respond negatively. He didn't say, well, if they don't like me, then, I'm just going to be me and I'll be what they expect me to be. No, he showed understanding and patience and kindness and love and compassion and empathy. He gave them time. And then when Mabel came to his new venue to visit and the animals saw how sweet he was with Mabel, they said, oh my goodness, he's really sweet. We judged him. We were wrong. And they all became fast friends. But it was because of WAPO's kindness. In fact, WAPO also stands for, it's an acronym, stands for goodness, unity, acceptance, patience, and open-mindedness. That's what WAPO's messaging is all about. And that's why I wrote these books, to teach children these really important life messages. So that's how we wipe out negativity, one child at a time. At home and then in school, and then as they get older, they've already learned those life lessons and they'll teach that to others. That's my hope.
Well, you're certainly on an amazing path. So necessary in the world, and thank goodness for you. So your grandchildren are very blessed indeed to have you.
I'm so
at the helm.
She brings me so much joy. She loves to read. Every time I'm with her, she says Bibo, which means Libro in Spanish, because my daughter-in-law is Colombian. The whole family is teaching her to speak Spanish as well. And me being Italian, I throw in a few Italian words like my Bella Bambina Valentina. So we're playing with all of that. But the important thing is she knows Libro. She says Bebo right now, but she knows, and she always asks me, Bebo, Bebo. She wants to read. She wants to see the colors and the words and the animals, and she knows the letters. I'll show her M, and that's for Mama. She's a year and a half old. So again,
That's
starts
very
early.
advanced.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, starts early, right? And they don't let her watch TV. They don't let her watch anything on their phones. And I think this is going to help her as she gets older. She won't be addicted because we know screen time is highly addictive, especially for kids.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, we've seen many statistics on that. Talking about that statistics, I'm sure you have many people who come to you who say, they're wanting to get into the television industry. They think it's so glamorous. I mean, I have a lot of people coming to me for coaching, and I just give them the real lowdown. So what is your take? What do you say to young professionals who want to get into the journalism or television industry?
I would say it's dog eat dog, Michelle. You probably know. It's very difficult. And the industry has changed a lot since I started way back when. There aren't as many resources in the industry as there were when I started. So that stations were more able to spend money to get the best quality people, the best quality equipment, all of that, which makes a difference when you finally present that product on the air to the viewers. But now I think there's more emphasis on, well, let's just get it on there quick, fast, dirty, and
Yeah.
beat the competition instead of taking the time to get the facts straight. If you want it that much, you can make it happen. Just know that there will be some struggles, but really with any industry that's highly competitive, that's the name of the game.
What do you feel were one of your biggest obstacles in the industry?
Well, it's a good question, Michelle, because in the industry of television news, it depends on who the news director is and the general manager. So say you're doing the best work possible, you're doing great work, and then a news director comes in who didn't hire you, and you're up for an anchor job or up for whatever job, an overseas job, whatever you're looking for, and you're going to get it with the news director and the general manager that hired you. They're telling you, Janet, we're going to do this for you. Then this new regime comes in and they're thinking, no, 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 we have our people that we're bringing in. So, Janet, you're going back to the sidelines. Keep doing what you're doing. We hope you're happy. If you're not, you'll have to find something else. But we're bringing our own people. Yeah, exactly. It's like next, next. So one thing I always said in the industry, and I think people who are maybe thinking about getting into television news, think about your destiny and how much control you want over your destiny. That's really important to me. So I think if I were to do my whole life over again, I would get into something where I'd had control. Maybe start my own business where I have the say, where I know if I'm putting in the work and I'm putting in the time and I'm putting in the money and the effort and the blood, sweat, and tears, that it will get me to where I want to go. And that's where I think it makes it. That's the distinction. How much control do you want over your life professionally? And it also obviously bleeds into your personal life too.
But that's very important advice, because people do see it as a very glamorous industry. Just looking at your illustrious career, so you've won numerous awards, honors, featured in magazines, and congratulations, it's so impressive. So now you've got this amazing award with IAOTP. What would you say is the highlight of your career, of your life?
I don't think there's just one highlight. I think today with you, Michelle, is a highlight. I was able to meet my goals. I was able to make a dream come true, to interview presidents, celebrities, politicians of every rank, children. I did a lot of charity work. In fact, I still do. And I thank the IAOTP for that, the International Association of Top Professionals, for recognizing that, because you don't do charity work to get awards or to get recognition. You do it because it comes from the heart. And the one thing that facilitated my work in charities and continues to do so is when you work in an industry where it's you're out there, you're exposed to many different people and organizations, and they see you and they come to you, can you help us? And of course, I'm out there, whatever I can do to give back, because That's my philosophy. I've been blessed. I want to be a blessing to others. So I've been given a lot and I want to give a lot back. So one of the major highlights is working with many charities over the years. And I think that's why the IAOTP also gave me this recognition, because it's not just for writing the books or just for broadcast journalism. It's because it's a compilation of many things that I've been able to do over the years. And I'm not patting myself on the back, because let me tell you, there have been a lot of people who've helped me along the way and who've facilitated my path to achieving my dreams and recognizing my goals. But it's also a very proactive situation where you have to take the reins and say, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to give back. And let me be a good example to others, and let me help kids along the way. That brought me so much joy. So I think that doing what you really want to do in life is a great gift, a great highlight, but it's also embracing it and making the most of it. And then when you do, you can give so much back. I'm still working with the rescue to give back. Part of the proceeds from my books go to animal rescues in California and Arizona to support these abused animals, mostly horses, who've come to these rescues with no life, no love. They're skin and bones, a lot of them, and we bring them back. And they know it. And these animals love us for it. And they give us so much. So we always ask, did I help them or did they help me? I mean, who's benefiting? We're benefiting from giving back. And that's what I hope to teach others is, take those blessings that you've been given and use them to give back to others.
So you're doing so much for the community and in your case, for children and our next generation that are our leaders. So it's been so inspirational chatting to you, Janet. And how do our listeners get hold of you if they want to connect and find out about your books?
I've got a great website, Michelle, that's really all about WAPO. There are blogs there and the 2 books, lots of good information about his background and the major animals that are his best friends in these books. So it's support at wapostales.com, SUPPORT at WAPO, GUAPOS, Wapo's Tales, TALES.com. Support at wapostales.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, and you can get onto Amazon and order our books. It's Wapo's Giant Heart was the first one. Second one is Wapo's Great Rescue, and I'm going to clue you in on something that I really haven't told anybody yet, Michelle, because I'm not quite ready. But I have a 3rd manuscript all set to go for a 3rd book featuring Wapo, but a little different. There's a cliffhanger at the end, which I think is going to really entice children to want to read more about WAPO, which of course means I have to write another book. But that's great because it's wonderful joy for me to be able to do and to share these stories with children.
That's just amazing. And also that you're doing it through books.
Yes.
Teaching this generation that books are still so important and reading is so important.
That's a big part of why I did it, because children's literacy is so critical. They have to learn at an early age how important reading is, what a joy it is. And if you're reading to a child, there's a bond that builds there as well. So it enhances their imagination, sharpens their cognitive skills, brings them joy. You can't go wrong. It's really important. That's another big reason. Thank you for bringing that up as to why I write these books.
That's wonderful. Well, Janet, wishing you all the best for the new project, and I'll get to see you soon. So
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Michelle, for your time.
You too. Thank you.
Mwah.